Today is Friday, October 8th, 2021. We're already making our way through October. This has been the fastest year by far, and it's not going to slow down. Time is speeding up. I believe that time will continue speeding up until the very end, and it's biblical. Not only is it biblical, it's prophecy from Jesus Christ himself. And so I just want to show in this video one or two things, mainly talking about this Bond thing. I don't really care about James Bond. 007 is two balls and a cane, two-ball cane. The films are full of wordplay and just on the nose campiness. They're very tranny land. They're very Masonic. People that are Masons love this kind of stuff. 007 films. Like, there's certain people in my life that I just know. It's like, oh, that person is just such a big Mason. Just the way that these people in my life, just the way they act. You know certain Freemartins that they just act in such a specific way. They love telling fantastical tales and pretending they're real, telling their children, oh, waves are caused by whales jumping in the ocean. They make up spooky stories. This person that I'm thinking of in particular, they would make up stuff when HIV/AIDS was around. They would say, "Oh, did you know people are like taking needles and poking them in themselves and then sticking them in movie theater chairs?" And there's just certain ways that these people act, and the Bond franchise is just very Masonic in nature, and I've never really seen the films. It's just something that I know. There's just certain people out there that they connect heavily with these Bond things. And so I guess you might just say it's very culturally relevant. And I think that the title that they've chosen for this film is just very appropriate. No Time to Die. There literally is not time anymore. And I'll get into the no time to die thing when I get to the scripture. But it's not just this Bond film. It was pointed out before to me, I guess last year, time has lost all meaning. That's just another thing. How the heck is it already October? 2021 is the fastest year ever. With lockdowns and all that, these should be the most slow, boring years of all time. But everybody can tell that these years are flying by. And I guess last year, Apple had an event called Time Flies. So just last year, Apple had an event that they called Time Flies. What's in a name? Why are they choosing these names? Time Flies, No Time to Die. Something that maybe also has to go with this time thing. Notice this new Bond film is very long, 163 minutes. It's almost 3 hours long, whereas Goldfinger is less than 2 hours. You could talk about all sorts of stuff when it comes to movies and media. These days, there's so much rehashing of old ideas. Video games, like Blizzard just had a big release. Was it some great new idea that they've been working on and they just came out with a great new game? No, they literally took an old game and just gave it a new skin. They just put new graphics on an old game. Like, this is the type of thing that they do nowadays, because that's all they have time for. There literally is not time to build things from the ground up anymore. And but I don't really, I've talked about this time thing in many other videos, so go check out my playlists. I have a playlist specifically on time moving more quickly. I just want to talk about this title, There's No Time to Die. This was interesting. There's somebody called Broccoli. What a ridiculous name. We were struggling to find a title. We wanted a title that wouldn't give away anything, but would be understandable, and after you see the movie, have a deeper resonance. I don't know, I read the plot. It didn't really seem like it was that relevant to the plot. So, whatever. I think that, well, I'll show you the verse in a second. I think that the No Time to Die is specifically talking about the verse where Jesus tells us that days will be shortened. And here's just another interesting thing to think about. This movie has been in production for years and years and years. And what do you know? The movie is talking about a bioweapon with nanobots that infect like a virus and are coded to an individual's specific DNA. What are the chances that the big Bond film that's been in production for years and years and years talks about viruses and altering people's DNA? There's just, it's obviously not random. They knew that when this film would be released, we'd be in the middle of this thing. And there's just one more thing here. They just don't hide it. Okay, this person's name is one letter away from Satan. The names that are used in James Bond are just, they're almost all puns. And so they infiltrate Satan with an F's headquarters, blah, 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 blah. And they will come up and tell you New World Order, to kill millions of people and establish a new world order for himself. So they've never been hiding it. It's just that they like to hide the truth in plain sight. What they tell you is the truth is a lie, and what they tell you is fantasy is the truth. That's just one of the modes of operation of these people. And there you go, the new James Bond flick. There's no time to die, and they want to kill a ton of people to establish a new world order. So let's just end this. Like I said, very short, nothing revolutionary. It's just another one of those things. Oh, there was the Apple thing, time flies. Now we have a James Bond film called No Time to Die. Well, what do you think about this? Matthew chapter 24, verse 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. This verse is literally saying that there's not enough time for them to kill everybody. So, in my opinion, that's exactly where they got that idea for no time to die. It's from this verse specifically. There is not enough time these days for them to literally kill everybody. And that's just where we're at. We're in end times. Jesus is going to be back very soon. If you can't tell that the world is crumbling around you right now, well, you're probably not paying attention. And same thing with time. I just don't even know what to say about it anymore, because it's so obvious to me that time is not what it used to be. And again, I have a playlist where I talk about all sorts of things. Oh, how come, high schoolers look like they're still 12 years old by the time they're graduating? 70-year-olds nowadays look like they're 50. There's just so much proof for this stuff. And this is just one more thing, that they like to talk about the truth in the media, but they just hide it. So they'll hide it with the titles. And anyways, except those days should be shortened. That's what it means for time to move more quickly. There's no time anymore. The days are literally shorter than they used to be, so there's no time. And that's it. But for the elect's sake, those days should be shortened. It makes it really hard to live life. And yeah, it does make each day harder, but it's like God is helping us out. He's ripping it off like a Band-Aid instead of a really long, drawn-out torture. Like, just trying to imagine all of this shenanigans playing out back in 90s time, it would be excruciatingly unbearable. But the fact that everything is moving so quickly, it's like it's being ripped off like a Band-Aid. So it really is God helping us out. And really, it's more like Team Evil is the one that's scrambling now. Team Evil is the one scrambling together to get all their stuff out in time. And they've had a lot of this stuff written in the books for decades and decades. So, I mean, maybe they knew that time would be moving. Well, they obviously did. They know the Bible's real, and that everything that's in it is going to come to fruition. So, anyways, rambling. Leave a comment. What do you guys think? Have you pointed this out to anyone? No time to die. They're pointing out the fact that, yeah, except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. They literally would kill everybody in opposition to their new world order if they had the time. But they physically don't have the time anymore. God bless everyone.